Well, that's quite interesting for a broken portal. Well, look at what we have here. We've got jungle wood on a beach. And it looks like we have a beached boat to go explore. Well, hopefully it's got a treasure map in the chest. How's it going, everyone? Proto here. Welcome back to the channel. We're here on Proto World today. Before we get into this video, I hope you are all having a wonderful day wherever you are. I hope things are looking on the up for you. As you noticed in the opening clips, I went out exploring a little bit just to see what kind of other wood we might be able to find. I passed up some birch trees on the way. I don't think using birch in the boat would be the greatest contrast for what we're trying to do. But we did end up finding that nether portal that was broken. I thought it was really interesting. I've never seen one like that before. We ended up getting some emeralds and some iron. Not a whole lot, really. Or actually, no. I'm sorry. We ended up getting some gold like boots that did the water walk, like the kind that we already have. A gold axe that gives us efficiency. Um, the boat clip that was in the beginning that we saw next to the jungle trees that we found. It's not quite a jungle over there. It's just jungle trees in the tropical area. Um, as you can see, we did collect up some jungle logs and get a couple saplings. The boat, though, gave us the iron nuggets, the emeralds, and some iron ingots, which I used 3 of to make a new axe for us to use. But anyway, um, this is our tree farm that I've done a lot of farming with recently. Like, a good part of my morning has been, or at least for the past like 2 hours, has just been farming, growing trees constantly. And in the meantime, while they were growing, I did end up putting in the upper deck to the boat up to the point where the boat ends, like where we need to continue building, just to save us up on some time. You guys didn't really need to see me putting in the upper deck part. It would just be way too repetitive and slow. So I did that. I did tweak the front of the boat a little bit just to make it look a little bit better. Like I was kind of rewatching last video and I was like, it kind of cuts over too abruptly. So I kind of just added a little bit of thickness on the on it in the front, and it definitely looks better. So I can show you guys that here in a minute. But what we're gonna do is, I think we use jungle wood entwined with the boat. Excuse me. It's it's got a nice contrast, I think. It's not going to be as light as like the birch wood, but it's going to give it a difference in contrast for sure. Um, and since we have a decent access to the jungle wood, like our lighthouse is here, I traveled that direction and it didn't really take me that long to get there. Um, so we have access to jungle wood over there, but at the same time, I did bring back these saplings. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to start growing some jungle wood over here, and hopefully that will be enough to get us started so we can continue building our ship here. But let me get on over there. Actually, here, you know what? Before we do that, let me show you all the wood that we've got. Because it's a lot. I think we probably should have enough between utilizing jungle wood and finishing off this boat with all of this wood that we've got here. And we still have oak logs down here, but we're gonna save these as is, just in case we build the mast with it. I don't know. We could use end up using the jungle wood even. That's not the right one. But no, I think we're gonna use the oak wood because the oak, as it's standing up, has an up and down pattern to where the jungle wood here has a side to side pattern. Um, so I think we're gonna still use the oak for the mast. But anyway, let me jump on over there real quick and I'll show you kind of the front of the boat that I kind of adjusted. Again, it's really not all that much, but it definitely does look a little bit better. And of course the the floor, the top deck is put in up to the point where we need to continue building. So let me show you guys that real quick and we'll get on rolling here. All right, here we are at the front of the boat. As you can kind of see, it really doesn't look like a whole lot has changed, but I can assure you guys that like this top row up here is now every other block leading up to the very top where we have an extra part that sticks out. A lot of it was like a couple ones, and then it would cut over like two and then continue. And it just kind of looked really weird. Like it just had this an abrupt angle. And I filled out a little bit more here on these layers. And I think it looks a heck of a lot better than what it used to look like, and it doesn't look so abrupt anymore. It looks more properly rounded out, and I absolutely like this a lot better. As we go to the interior of the boat, whoops, that was not what I wanted to hit. I ended up putting some torches in here to keep the lighting up, but as you can see, we have the ceiling where we're at now, but basically what's the top deck of the boat. I have this little walkway up currently just so we can get up here. Oh, okay. Well, that happened. Here, let's see if we can just break in right here. Whoa, 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 whoa. But yeah, the the top deck is just it took a lot of wood, like the majority of what I had gathered up basically went straight into this. So I had to do like a whole another round of trees just to get the wood that we have in our chests back at the lighthouse. But I am liking the size of this ship so far. Like, I feel like this is definitely big enough. It's quite the distance to walk from the front to the back. And this is still going to be a little bit bigger. Like, I'm just thinking like the back cabin of the boat, like this is going to start rounding upward just a little bit, and then it's going to have the cabin sitting here, and it's probably going to stretch to probably about here where the actual cabin wall, outer wall starts before you have the rest of the boat. But I still have to kind of gauge that. It's just going to really depend on how much steepness the back of the boat is and how round it is and etc. But and it is going to actually stick out of the side a little bit just to give the boat a little bit of depth, but we'll get there eventually. Right now, first and foremost, we do need to get the back of the boat in, and seeing how it is getting to be night again, I'm gonna go and sleep real quick, grab the materials that we currently need, which is just more oak planks. And we'll get this back filled out real quick. And then from there we can start moving on towards, the cabin and some more of the details and whatnot going on. And maybe possibly getting the side railing in today. But we're just going to kind of play this episode by ear of how much progress we can really get done before we kind of run out of what we have. And right now we're mostly just waiting on the jungle trees to grow so we have access to more jungle wood. So it's all just going to depend on what we can get done today. And of course we have to deal with things. But anyway, but yeah, let me get some stuff going before we start continuing with the ship, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. All right, here we go. We are ready to get rolling here. So the tricky part of the back of the boat compared to the front of the boat is that it is supposed to kind of angle up quickly and steeply until you hit where like the cabin area of the like the top back of the boat is. It's going to be drastic instead of like streaming outward to about like this point where the boat would come to like a point in the front. It's basically going to like swiftly just come up straight on an angle. So we're going to have to get a little crafty here. And I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to want to do this, but what I'm thinking is that we do this by twos. So we'll do this to start. I think this is probably the best idea. And we'll go straight up like this to this point. So that it's got like this effect going on, right? Then what we'll do is I'm just going to do everything in a mirror so we don't trip ourselves up doing this. This would come down to here. Break this. Well, there we go. Let's come up to here, and I believe that's going to be what we do. So I'm gonna do the process like this, and then I'll show you the end product as we go along. I think actually, the whole back part of this is actually gonna have to be like this as well on this level. So we're gonna do that. Let me take you through this real quick. So like this, and then it comes out, and then that, and then that. Alright, I think that's probably how it's going to have to be. Take this, that, that. Let's get some air. Grab this. And then basically just do the same thing like this. Like that. Oh, this is going to count out perfectly. So basically it's going to be like that. And then because we want it to start heading upward, I think we do this. Next is the next line. Just bear with me, this is all experimental right now. Do that. Like so. Just like that. gotta get a general idea of how this process is gonna work before I clip to the next part here. But I'm thinking that's basically how we're gonna have to do this, and this would come down. Okay. Why does that look a little different? How is that different? We have that and then that angle. Oh, that's why. Okay. I messed up right here, it looks like. Somehow? I don't know how. That's weird. How does that make sense? Oh, okay, hold up. I think we did that, that's why. Okay, that's better. Okay, yeah, okay. I follow now. So we do that, and then this comes out, that comes out, this comes over like so. But then when we get down to it, it's gonna stick out like this, I believe, next. Yeah, that makes sense, because then that's gonna come down. Okay, I think I know the process here. So yeah, again, just give me just a second, and I will have all of this filled in, and then we can move on from here. So give me just a moment. All right, here we go. It looks pretty good. You've got on the very sides where the side walls end, you have the one wide on both sides. And then you count off 2, 2, 2, going in 2, 2, 2. And then at the very back, you have a 4 wide panel. And underneath, you kind of drop that 4 wide right here on these corners, and it's just 2 wide going all the way down, which makes sense. And then you have this all going up like so. With this being like the only part where it kind of cuts over there to be a 3 wide, but it does look aesthetically good and correct. I believe we have figured out how to do this. So that's the back enclosed, which means now we have to figure out how to get back on top of the boat because we got to get back inside of it. Luckily for us, I already kind of know how I want to do this and how you're going to board the boat to begin with. We're going to put in the side railing, and in like probably about on 2 to maybe 3 parts, depending on the back of the cabin, how far the cabin I'm going to make the cabin, how big it um, is going to determine if I'm going to have put 2 or up to 3 ladders on each side of the sides leading up to the boat so that we can just kind of like a rope ladder would be, you would climb up onto the ship. But we need the materials for that first, and that's going to require jungle wood. So for the time being, I'm going to mine some of those materials up, and then we can start getting things going. And I also want jungle wood to build the cabin itself. So I'm going to do some intensive farming, and then we can come right back into this. And I think the goal for the rest of this video is to at least start getting um, the railing in, I think for the most part, and at least the cabin walls in. And that'll probably finish up this video. So give me some time, and I'm gonna go farm real quick, and then we can start getting right back into this. All right, guys, I'm just gonna show you the outline of what I'm doing before we wrap up here. There's a lot of work that's going to need to go into just the outline itself, but I got a slight start to it to kind of show you my thoughts of how I want to do this. So as you can see, I've got back here, I made a ramp to get up on top with dirt, and that way we could start doing things. But as you can see, I have the beginning of the cabin wall here, and I wanted to put that wall in first, so I kind of knew how long I wanted my outer rail here to go. And I think this is probably a good enough size, and it'll leave us a decent amount of room for the cabin, and then of course um, the steering wheel above the cabin where the captain would be, you know, up working and steering the boat. Um, and as you can see here, what I ended up doing is I used full-on blocks for the railing. Again, this level right here, this normal oak level right here, is our floor, our top deck line. So we have the railing going here, and then I started putting in fencing for to make sure you wouldn't be able to fall overboard or anything like that. And then in order to have the fencing connect correctly, I took just slabs of the jungle wood so that the fencing can sit on top of that. So I'll head up there real quick to kind of show you what it looks like on deck and the basically what I'm going to be doing from here. So right here we got the cabin. I got door frame ready to go, two windows ready to go, and then beside those two windows we're gonna have the stairs going up to where the steering wheel would be. So that's kind of my idea for that. Um, we have this up here where the railing is. So like this, without the slabs here, we would just have a free-flowing standing fence, and I didn't like the way that looked, so I just did the slabs. So but I'm thinking this is looking pretty good for the most part here. You know what? I don't think I like the added fence right there. And actually, what I think I'm going to do, just to give this some character, is we will let that jut out a little bit more. And we'll just do that. Great. So yeah, that's basically what I've got so far going for us. I'm going to basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to line the whole top of this with fencing first up to the wall, and then from there I will decide where to cut some of the fence line out so where we can put the ladders to climb aboard on. And I'm going to space them out, but I'm going to do some counting and pacing. Basically the main mast is going to be probably right about here. Let me mark this off. Probably somewhere in here. Actually, no. We'll probably have a smaller mast more here, and then the main mast is going to be just a little bit behind this. Probably not by a whole lot, but I'm thinking probably around here is where the main mast will go. I see you up there, Mr. Spider. Main mast, bigger, smaller mast. Actually, even the smaller mast probably makes a little bit more sense to come a little bit more, probably about here. So we'll do that, but that's just the outline of the placeholder where we're going to do that. But apart from that, that's what we're looking at so far. I am going to finish off the episode right here, guys. But I just wanted to let you know kind of like the design process of how we're going to do this, so that way when we come into the next episode, we'll have at least the railing in, the cabin structure, like just the walls put in and the ceiling put in, and then we can continue doing some design aspects like the steps and putting in more of the details to the boat um, visually in for the next episode, and we'll move on from there. Thanks for tuning in, guys, to this video. If you like the video, please hit that button. If you are not subscribed and you like the video, please consider subscribing. For those of you that are subscribed, if you haven't hit the bell yet to notify you when my next video goes live, maybe consider doing that so you know exactly when I post. Um, my schedule itself is kind of changing as of this week, so I gotta kind of play around of exactly how I'm going to fit in the time to do recording and when I want to be posting. I still kind of want to be able to post on Mondays primarily and try to maybe do like a Monday Thursday thing maybe, but I don't know. I gotta play around with my schedule. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you guys have a great day. Please take care, guys. Peace.